Hey, it's Care, here with another way to dive in, another easy in for people who are not quite sure they want to do this or where to start. That's what this series is all about. Welcome to My Take at the Lake. You know, sometimes the project comes from places you don't expect. I saw this very colorful little cheapy photo album on one of my St. Vinny's excursions, and I just really liked it. I have a thing for color, I have a thing for rainbows and spectrums, and it just really spoke to me. I didn't know what I was going to do with it, and if you remember from one of the St. Vinny's hauls too, I got a whole Ziploc bag full of 4x6 pieces of paper pre-cut. I didn't know what I was going to use those for either, but I knew they'd come in handy someday, some way. It's nice light paper too, so Birdwalk, I'll come back to the dive in a second, but Birdwalk, I just watched Eva at Bohemian Crafting yesterday, and she has a new DigiKit out, and it has some money, old money, and she showed the originals, and of course, old money was made on very fine, thin paper, and if we're trying to replicate that from a DigiKit in our own ephemera collection, you need a little bit lighter weight paper than some simple copy paper. It'll work on copy paper, and you can distress it, you know, crinkle it up and flatten it out, and crinkle it up and flatten it out 1,000 times, and it'll break those fibers down and soften up that paper. I moved my light. Pretty sure I don't like it here. We'll have to revisit that. I apologize for the glare. Another left turn. I may or may not have had too much coffee today. Very sorry about the speed of this. Perhaps you want to slow it down. Because I can't seem to. Anyway, this would be perfect paper to print that kind of DigiKit out on if I wanted to have that fine paper. And again, I would still distress it once it was printed, wad it up, flatten it down, wad it up, flatten it down, wad it in a different way, flatten it out, turn it, wad it up again, and that'll break down those fibers and get that old paper money feel. But anyway, so that's another use for miscellaneous random thin paper. And you can print photos on your printers, and this is 4x6, so I would just set it to print photo 4x6 and squeeze the paper holder so that it holds these in place, and print out some paper money. Look at me go. So we have this random colorful little book. Whatever shall I do with it? Well, there I go. I've seen these. We've all seen these a jillion times throughout our life. Seen them, but ignored them. Saw them, but didn't see them. And I started pulling them out just because I thought I liked the colors. I figured I would do something maybe cat handy with it, you know, pull the black and whites off, or I don't know. I just thought I would. Well, then I threw a bunch in here, and they sort of landed next to this. I mean, it was like serendipity, and then I had the epiphany. The serendipity came first. Like the two things landed together. I had a whole passel of these that I'd been collecting, and I threw them together in my sort bucket, and look at there. It just spoke to me. So this is not necessarily junk journaling in that it's pretty narrowly focused, but it gets you in the habit of thinking in terms of junk journaling. It gets you in the habit of collecting cool things. We'll get back to collecting in just a minute. It gets you in the habit of putting things together on a page. So I just started, and this was when my little man was very sick, and I just didn't have the brain capacity to focus on more complicated projects. I just didn't. And while he was resting, I just started gluing these together. I have another project too that I did. He was sick too. Another easy in. I'll do that for another video. But again, very simple. And it was just a matter of gluing these down in a manner that pleased me. So it's more on the glue book side, but glue books are like a gateway. Once you start glue booking, you'll get the feel of the glue, you'll get to know the papers, you'll get to start collecting and amassing things for your junk journals. So it's like a gateway. Once you start glue booking, it's just a whisper away from full-on junk journaling. I promise. And there are different kinds of these, so I collected all the same ones. And yeah, they're not perfect. When you open the boxes, I think these are from, I want to say Kleenex boxes, because we go through a lot of those around here, especially the last few months. And they don't always come out great because that's where they're glued shut. These are usually glued on the bottom underneath a flap or something because they don't want you to see them. And what these are, I had to look them up because they're on everything almost. They're called printer color blocks or process control patches. And what they serve to do is just like your printer, when you put new cartridges in your own printer, it wants to print an alignment page just to make sure the red's coming out of the red squirter and the blue's coming out of the blue squirter and everything's lined up as it should be. That's what these all are. They want to make sure that their logo and their beautiful packaging looks like they want it to. So they run these on like I said, almost everything. You're going to find them everywhere. And they're not all the same. Here are some round ones, and they've got little white, they're almost like spirograph designs, and they have these little bullseye target kind of, they're just, again, it's to align the printer and make everything work right. So on the first page, I just took some that were very much alike and put them in an interesting, to me, design. Easy peasy. These two, I think, were my first ones where I just glued them down. I just filled up the page. This one, everything's vertical. This one, everything's more horizontal. And you'll see there's squares and there's circles and there's the spirograph. Some are just specific colors. This is one of my favorites for a number of reasons. It's Budweiser, because all they use is black and white and gray and red. Those are their three colors. So they don't have the whole spectrum. All they have are these. I have one more. And these. These are the ones from Budweiser. And I just think that's so cool. So I took all that I had at that time and I just kept gluing them onto pages. The ones that were sort of alike, I kind of arranged in different places. Now, is this high art? It is absolutely not. Is this anything I would sell or give away? No. This is quiet my mind, make my fingers busy so that I don't lose my shit. Very therapeutic. But I wanted to show it to you as an easy in as well. So for those of you who are, used to junk journaling and you're not afraid of diving in and you have no problem getting started, this is a really good project for when you feel like doing something, but just don't have the energy for matchy and Edith Holden and fussy cutting and some of those things that do take a considerable amount of brain power sometimes. This is a nice, relaxing way to do it. Kind of glue booky, kind of junk journaling. Here's some, would it be, is it a pentagon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or a hexagon? I'm probably not right on either count. And then these little teeny ones, so they have this normal one, and then the top ones are all like Brady Bunch spirally. Very fun. So like any collection, when you start collecting these at first, again, you're going to see them everywhere. They're going to be all over the place, and you will have amassed a truckload in no time. And again, you'll notice a lot of them are very much the same. I have hundreds of these plain simple ones. Like I said, the Kleenex boxes, even when we're not going through something horrendous and scary. And even when we're not in grief around here, we go through a lot of Kleenexes. And so these Kleenex boxes, I've got dozens and dozens of these from them. As well as toilet paper. Toilet paper, yes indeed. We go through a lot of that around here too. So, so you just start collecting them. Ooh, every time you see them, that's good for my little project. Ooh, that's fun to play with. But then, like with any collection, you start to get just a teensy bit fussy in that. Okay, so I have a million of the Kleenex boxes and toilet paper. I have a whole bunch of these plain Jane. They're all the same. I have a whole bunch of those. Okay, so now I'm still collecting them, by the way, because now it's sort of a habit. I can't stop. So now I'm getting a little more selective in I shouldn't say that because I said I'm still collecting the crappy ones, but when I find something that's different, I get all kinds of crazy excited. So here's a teeny tiny little bitty spiralies. I think this is from a cake box. Here's one that's just red, white, and blue. I have no idea what that is from, but I've never seen one of these before. This one's got all purples. That's kind of a unique one. I've not seen that before. I've not seen one like that. These are getting kind of hard to see. I've not seen one like that before. It's plastic. I have no idea what that's from. This one was from Life Water. Same colors, different thing, and then just the one black dot. That's different. Different colors. That was fun. Just the fall colors. And they also have, some of these have these little, I don't know if I'm going to keep these or not. I don't know. I'll see. Newspaper flyer. I think this is from a Meyer ad. And they're on almost every page, oddly enough. Wrapping paper. So this is very different. This kind of checking versus the circles and squares. You know, you want to find the rare stuff sometimes. Some unique colors, these peachy colors and blue and brown. That's different. Gardettos, more fall colors. Very different from the others. McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Those are their colors. Yep. I have no idea what that is from. This one's kind of fun. Plain Jane, but then just the plain brown ones. I don't know. Now, I don't know if you'll even be able to see this or not. This is from Postage Stamps. This, you know, sticky, fabulous sticky ones. And right here is this teeny tiny little, they're all color coded. They're all colored. It says B and then a whole bunch of ones with each color on. And that is the postage version of these printer contact patches. Printer process control patches. I can read. Now, what's pretty cool about anything, maybe these little color blocks aren't your thing. Maybe it's too messy. Maybe it just looks like garbage to you. Oh, one more really cool one. This is from Material. Purple and gold material. Very cool. I happen to have this, had the end piece of the bolt or the beginning, I don't know. Probably the end because it was clearance. But anyway, little color patch check on fabric. So cool. Maybe this isn't your bailiwick, but when you have anything, a whole bunch of anything, and again, this is not high art, but it's pretty darn cool, and I can't wait to have all the pages filled and just to flip through because it's cool to have something you did done, even though it's not the Star-Spangled Banner of projects. It's just fun. And what's the point? The point is gluing. The point is keeping your hands busy when your mind is making you crazy. The point is relaxing and letting out, just letting the day go and having some fun with your toys. Other things I started to collect for this sort of process and project, although God, they're everywhere. Here's some pretty colors. I don't know what these are from, but pretty colors. Another thing that I've started to collect is signatures. These are everywhere too. Junk mail. This is from a junk mail. I think this is that insurance that my credit union wants me to buy all the time. Special offer just for you. Signed, this Brian guy. Your junk mail has a lot of signatures in it. This one I just tore out of a book. Lots of junk mail. This is from the 1950s. I think it was from the embroidery floss that I found, that all the innards were 1950s little treasures. They were ripped up junk mail and ripped up ads that the lady, I'm assuming it's a lady, used to wrap her embroidery floss around. This was one in there. Lots and lots in magazines, especially the editorial letter at the very beginning. So if you have a stash of magazines somewhere, you have a stash of these signatures too. From another book. This one might actually be the author's signature, or it could just be printed on there. I'm not sure. Either way, it looks pretty real. I like it, and I love her books. It's Sarah Ben Brethnock. I'll have to insert, if I can find her books. Beautiful books. Very uplifting, fun, easy on your mind stuff. Jimmy Dean, advertisements. Pure Leaf Tea, advertisement. Old book. Oh, this is old magazine. I think it was either Life or Time from the 1960s. His note from the publisher. Junk mail. Magazine. This is from Life Water. This artist's signature for that particular bottle of Life Water. This was on a check. Junk mail. Junk mail. And they're all so different and pretty. Padma. She was a guest editor on a magazine I just got. Junk mail. Junk mail. Another one from the 1960s magazines. Very cool. This one's from John Glenn. It's not, well, I guess it is his signature, Johnny G. 15th annual football banquet when he was, it was a program that John Glenn of astronaut fame wrote to his girlfriend. He wrote a little note on her program. So, John Glenn, that's pretty awesome. And I have found in my travels, the old books that I'm getting from St. Vincent's or whatever, people's handwriting. This was a student. He wrote all over his English book. This was inside cover. This was an inside sticker on an inside cover. So signatures. You could fill a little autograph book full of signatures. People collect postage stamps. That's kind of a given. I mean, everybody does that already. But if you're new, maybe you don't know that. Postage stamps are awesome, especially when there's several of them together. I have anything, a whole bunch of them together. I started collecting dates. whether they're stamped or part of a book or in a magazine or from calendars. What else was I? Postage. Where's my postage? This is my photo album, Ephemera Keeper. If you haven't seen this, there's a video on it. I will post it below if it's already out. If it's not, watch for it. But you get all kinds of mail, bills, junk mail. A lot of times they have real stamps on. Those are fun to collect. Sometimes they just have the printed bit on. That's fun too. Anything in mass adds up, and it looks pretty cool. So easy ins. Start with things that you see all day. Another thing that I'm going to start collecting are barcodes from items. I will probably not be able to put my hand on one right this very second, because that's how life goes, isn't it? Everybody knows what a barcode is. Here's one. Barcode. I've seen really cool t-shirts with barcodes on, and they have like zebras or animals in the middle and a little saying down here instead of numbers. I'm going to start collecting these. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them exactly. But something's telling me that it would make a cool... I don't know. I don't know, but I'm going to start doing it. And in my ephemera holder here, as we covered the other day, I've got lots and lots of room to grow, so I'm going to start collecting barcodes. Those could just as easily fill a little book like this. And these are like $1 at Walmart. Probably not fabric covered anymore, but if you go to St. Vinny's or even your own basement and attic and under your bed in some storage box, we all had 100 of these. We didn't use them all. Or you could do bigger, just get a composition book and do it that way. The other option is to use these things as borders and then save your pages either to decorate later or to journal on. Something like this with just the border, and I could journal in it if I wanted to do it that way instead of just a visual. So there's all kinds of options here with this particular kind of idea. And it's always fun to start collecting stuff that's readily available and then start seeking out the more unique parts of it and see where it takes you. See where it takes you. So that is my dive in for today. Start collecting something that's all around you and then see how you could put it together. That's the fun of it. You got this. You got this. There's so many easy ways into junk journaling. Some are easier than others, but there's something for everybody. And yes, you can do this. All you got to do is start. And if you need to start small and simple, no shame in that. We all got to start somewhere. So find something fun, find a piece of paper and some glue, and glue it down. And there you go. You're already started. Until next time, you have a lovely crafty day. Love up your beastlies. And we'll see you again soon. My Take of the Lake, out for now.